Happy Sunday to everyone. I hope you guys are doing good. I'm just mixing my electrolyte drink. So just give me a minute here. Where do you live? I'm in Canada, Yash. I'm just on an off-grid location. I'm just mixing my electrolyte drink. Some salt and minerals. I had too many coffees today, trying to catch up with everything because I was away for almost a week. Had to drive back to the city to buy some, to get some meat from the farmer. And I just got back yesterday morning. I hope you guys are doing good. And I got a lot of eggs actually from my chicken. So 4 days away, I got almost about 23 eggs, which is nice. Where did I drop it? I will also live off a grid someday. I love living that, and it's so peaceful. Oh, 100% it's peaceful. Hey, let me show you outside. Hey, Rooster, how are you? Had 4 eggs from the coop. Hey, I just had. Finally, I'm starting to get sick, so check this out. I got about 23 eggs, and 4 days, 5 days, which is pretty awesome. They're nice and fresh. Each one is a different color. It's pretty awesome to actually have that finally, which is very exciting. Hi, long time. How you been? How's Duke? Duke is doing good. I've been actually. I had to go to the city for almost about 4 or 5 days. I ended up visiting the family, and I came back and I picked up a couple 100 pounds of meat from the butcher, and I ended up getting my stuff from town. So I was able to get my road bike. I was trying to lift this damn thing. It's about 175 pounds. I ended up hurting my lower back a bit. It's a little bit awkward to lift, and I got my desk, which is nice. I got my my gun case, the whole thing. Picked up everything from the city, came back, and so this way I'll be here for the full winter, and we'll see how that goes. I'll probably gonna head back again to the city and Thanksgiving to visit the family. Pick up some more lamb. I picked up quite a bit of lamb actually, lamb legs and stuff. So looking forward to that. I got about 200, almost about 180 pounds of that, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, and it's been exciting. I came back, checked the chicken coop. The chickens are doing really good. I left them enough food for about 5 days and water, which is awesome. They're doing nice. They're doing good actually. They're healthy. All the eggs were stacked up in like 2 sections, which is awesome. And let's say hi to Duke. There's Duke. If you guys can see him, he's down in the water waiting for me to go play. He'll come down soon, shortly. So this is where I'm at, but you guys can see it's quite been foggy. A lot of smoke. We've had a lot of fires, and it hasn't rained for almost 2 weeks, which is nice, but it's quite smoky, so it's a little bit tough outside. Ted, I have a question on red yeast rice. Does it have the same side effect as statin? Because how come I can't see the word? Because I'm a lean mass hyper-responder. Total cholesterol 493, LDL 393, HDL 77, triglycerides. So your triglyceride to HDL ratio is pretty good. Red yeast rice, it does contain 8 monocolin, compared to statins only carry one monocolin. So the only reason we get side effects from the statins because it's broken down. If you have all 8 monocolin like red yeast rice does, it does not give you the same side effect. We get at least 1 out of 100 people where sometimes they get slight calves or slight tightness in their large muscle groups, such as sometimes your back and sometimes your thighs as well too. But that's very rarely happens. If that tend to happen, you just gotta make sure you're taking at least 10,000 international units of vitamin D3 to actually prevent that. So every 1,200 milligrams of red yeast rice, you take about 10,000 international units. And that will actually fix the issue instantly. It does not cause any harm. I've been taking red yeast rice because I am a hyper responder as well too. And I've been taking it for almost 8-9 years. And I actually just make sure it is citrine free, because citrine is a mold that can actually cause more issues in your system. Other than that, you should be fine. Certain individuals tend to actually, their coenzyme Q10 tend to drop a bit. So keep an eye on that. The only way you'll know if it's dropping, only if you felt zero energy, fatigue, foggy brain, anything like that, then you should actually add coenzyme Q10. Or you can do what I do, just eat beef liver and beef heart at least 3-4 times a week. You should be fine. You get plenty of coenzyme Q10 within that, and that will actually help protect you. So red yeast rice is good. You got niacin is excellent. You got bergamot and berberine as a combination, works amazing as well. So it's not about lowering your LDL levels or lowering your cholesterol. Your cholesterol numbers are fine. It's about preventing oxidization. So oxidization would be something such as OX, LDL, ApoB. Make sure your ApoB to ApoA1 ratio is good. Make sure your LPP-LA activity is actually in good condition. As long as all these are good, then you shouldn't really have to worry about the oxidization or atherosclerosis or anything like that. And the whole idea is to make sure that your glycocalyx are nice and strong, and we can keep them strong. So this way the ApoB, if it's actually trying to put a lot of pressure on the glycocalyx, is not going to actually conflict. And this happens quite a bit with a lot of hyper responders, familiar hypercholesterolemia, or you have issues with your LDL clearance or LDL receptors. So that's always kind of good to keep an eye on. And of course, your HDL to triglyceride ratio, make sure, I like it to be below 1, 1.2, 1.3, or even less than 1 would be ideal. This way you know exactly how much fats to consume, etc. I hope that kind of gives you all the information, which as it does. How are you in Duke? Hey Lily, how are you? I'm doing good. We're back here off grid. I was away for about a week, back to the city, had to pick up some meat. I'm back, and for the past week and a half, I've been working on moving all my wood for the wood stove. So I got the, you can see, so I got the whole section of the garage, well, off the container. I got it all drilled. I stocked up all my wood stove wood on the side, so made it into like a nice little inside. I'm just waiting for the roof, the metal roofing to come in. It'll come in next week. So this is all I've been doing for the past like week and a half. Got everything done. Got it all stocked up. Got it ready for the winter. I still got quite a bit of wood to actually still cut, but at least I got most of it done. And so it's looking good. And hopefully we can keep the snow and the rain and keep the wood nice and dry. And hopefully that roof will hold. I know the pitch is not the best because I couldn't straighten the container. I'm off by about 2.5 inches on one side. And this side is a little bit higher, and I couldn't actually level it because I have all the electrical wiring going inside my container. So I couldn't really lift it any higher than what I had it originally. So it kind of made my roof a little bit on an angle, which is fine. I think it's gonna be okay. But at least I got a lot of room. I can store some stuff outside, and should be fine. And I saw you on, so thought I'd say cheers. I just finished tricking out a rifle and going out with the neighbors to see how it works. Elk season is getting close. Have a great day, brother. Cheers. Enjoy the hunting season. Yes, hunting season just starting. That's why I got my stuff. I brought everything from the city, so I got it all with me right now. I just gotta put it all together and everything. And I'll see if I'm gonna do some hunting this year. It depends how everything goes. I know for sure I'll be doing a lot of. Would definitely gotta check with my neighbor if he's around. Maybe we'll go with him because he's actually traveling right now. Where you live in Canada? I'm in Vancouver in BC. Are you still on TikTok? I am still on TikTok. I had to open up a new account because my previous account on TikTok has been shut down. So, I lost almost 350,000 users that was following me, which is unfortunate. And it's almost like starting from scratch. So my TikTok account is under inflammation reset, it's called. I only have I think 1,100 followers. But yeah, I lost everybody there. You talk too much. I talk too much truth. I get shut down, right? It's crazy. So I'll try to focus a little bit more on YouTube and maybe Instagram because they still allow me to speak certain things without kind of getting, any warning signs from the company. Right, Duke? Okay, dig here. Okay. There you go. There you go. Get some dust going. For someone with FH35, so what diet do you recommend? It's not whether the diet. You technically, anybody with FH, you have to monitor your glucose, fructose intake, sugar intake, and keep an eye on your fat intake because we don't tend to actually clear the LDL as anyone else's. So you just have to kind of keep an eye on that. And too much glucose or too much insulin spiking will actually slow down the LDL receptors to work correctly. But yeah, you'll have to start at a young age because usually anybody with FH or anything like that, usually they'll end up having issues with the heart prior to the age of 40. So keep that in mind. What is your TikTok account? And do you go live on there? I haven't gone live there because I was waiting to hit 1,000 followers, so they didn't let me do live. So I finally hit over 1,000 followers as of last week. So moving forward, I'll start doing lives between YouTube and TikTok on both like I used to do before. The TikTok account is under inflammation reset. Do you do any ice fishing? I haven't done any ice fishing, It's funny, I've been in Canada for almost more than coming up to 30 years. And I used to actually be a wholesaler like almost 6-7 years ago for a company called Deeper Fish Finder, where I was selling fish finders for ice fishing and stuff. And I never really went and done any ice fishing. It was way too cold and I was way too busy to actually travel when I was living in the city. Never had a chance to. But now since I am off a grid, I'll definitely would love to go and try ice fishing because there's about 7 lakes in my area. Is a blood test the only way to know if you have the genetic for it? That's one of them. That's one of them. But there's a lot of different ways of checking that. It's all in regards to the food you eat. Right, Duke? Dig right here. Nice jump, little guy. There you go. That's your exercise for today. Did you find it? What are you looking for? Good. You tired yet? Dig right here. He's a big boy. He loves digging. So I left this area for him. I was actually gonna put sandy beach for him, because in the winter time it gets pretty muddy in here actually. No, the off-grid house, I built the whole thing. I finished it all last year. The deck and everything, the inside was done this year. I started doing this almost about 5-6 years ago. I started from the bottom. We clear one section of trees, take the logs. We're using them to actually for some of the lumber and stuff, and I end up building the whole unit myself. I couldn't get any help or anybody or any builders or anything to come and help, so I did the whole thing on my own. Was tough, was heavy. You know, you put in about 16-18 hours every day, but the final piece looks good. And keep in mind, there is a tiny house. It's not that big. It's only about 18 feet by 12 foot. I don't need anything bigger than that. We tend to live most of our life outside, not indoors. You only need the indoors if you're gonna sleep and eat, shower. That's about it. The rest of the time you're gonna be outside, whether winter or summer, because our bodies are meant to move. So there's no point of having a huge big place and cost you so much money to heat it up and everything. So the smaller the better. The more time you can spend outside, that's what's important. And I end up putting the chicken coop. I did it this summer. We got the chicken. Finally, they're about 24 weeks old now. So we got eggs almost every day, which is nice. And I got my little guy, Duke. He's the one that keeps me busy. I think without him, I'll probably go depressed here. Aspirin, good for baby growth when pregnant. Doc saying to have it anyway seems a bit off. Why we should even take, especially if there's only speculation. Any thoughts? What's the point of taking aspirin? It's like an anticoagulant. Anticoagulant, or it thins out the blood. Is it gonna actually help with anything? Not really, no. It's not gonna really help with anything as long as your diet is good and you're not actually overdoing things or overcomplicating things, or let's say overeating that you're causing coagulation. Then you shouldn't have to worry. You should not have to eat it as long as you have enough garlic and sulfur in your diet from onions and ginger, and as long as you have certain low carb days, then you're fine. There's no need to actually have aspirin. I think it's just a waste of money, waste of effort, and it could put a lot of stress on your body, and it could cause issues with your gut. A German Shepherd, he ignored me. Yeah, he is a German Shepherd. He's a purebred European German Shepherd. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just actually answering question by question. Yes, sir, you get it. The bigger it is, more to have to heat in the winter. Oh, 100%. I think it's a waste of money to spend all that lumber, all that room for what? For only 1 or 2 people to live happily? Like, seriously. And, I know you agree with me, Rooster, because, you live yourself off a grid, and it's pretty amazing life. I'm going to spend 90%, 99% of the time outside. Even if it's cold, I'm going to sit outside and still enjoy the cold weather, the view that I have, and that's life. That's life. Whether I live for a year or I live for another, 10, 20, 40, or 100 years, I'm going to enjoy every single moment of it, being outside than being stuck in a city and rotting slowly, like they say. Duke, up here, dig. Dig here. And I got a Duke, he'll keep me busy. And we'll keep all the coyotes away. Yesterday, we got here Saturday. I got busy with a few patients, wanted like a quick emergency calls. I had about 5 calls, and after that I was unloading the bike and unloading everything from my FJ and a small trailer. And today is almost supposed to be my relaxing day, but I end up twisting my little side, so it's kind of a little bit hurting, which is fine. I'll be better by tomorrow. Just gotta stop drinking coffee. I had 4 cups of coffee already. I shouldn't be doing that, but whatever. It tastes good. Keeps me going. Duke, what'd you find? Let's go show everybody the chicken. Let's see what they're doing. There they are. BPC 157. Yeah, I'm out of it right now. I gotta get me some BPC 57 TB 500. Will definitely help me recover. I've been taking a lot of creatine with PQQ, so it can actually enhance the mitochondria. This way I can recover a little bit better. For FH, what's your opinion on PCSK9? For what? So you can actually do the needle shot? I would never touch that because I have that same issue with FH. I control it with a diet. You don't need PCSK9 to control it. Seriously, you don't. You just gotta make sure you understand what you eat, what type of fast to use for cooking, how to use it, how to prevent oxidation, and what time your last meal should be to actually enhance your LDL clearance. If you understand all these concepts, then you don't need to do the PCSK9 shot. Best way to oxygenate the body, nitrate. Take nitrate. I take nitrate every single day, twice a day actually. Once in the morning, once at night. It's all about vasodilation. Once we hit the age of 40, we lose about 50% of our nitric oxide production. And that's why our blood flow and oxygen gets depleted, especially in the environment we live in, where our oxygen levels has dropped dramatically due to heavy agriculture and massive corporations and everything. And the whole drill behind it. So yeah, that's would be good. Doing HIIT training, nitrate, sleeping, all these little things matter because all these will actually allow proper HRV, but proper oxygen to the body. Muscle Maurice, nice to hear you back lives. Beautiful Duke. Hey Sandra, good to see you on here. Yeah, I've been away, kind of back and forth to the city, getting some stuff. Finally, I'm back. Me and Duke. I'll start to do a little bit more live, and I wanted to send you a big thank you for all the support you've been giving Duke, and wanted to say thanks to that. And Duke is always happy, as you can see. He wants to play. Maurice, can what reverse to help having left ventricle non-compaction cardiomyopathy? What can reverse? The first thing when we're looking at a reversal is finding out the deficiencies of a specific mineralization. If they're not fixed, and you're taking supplement and you're changing your diet, it's almost like going one step forward, 10 steps backward. And I think, Mike, that would be better for you to book an appointment with me, and we can actually talk in very detailed, and we can look at all the deficiencies that you have, and therefore we can actually have a protocol and a plan. So this way we can stop the progression and start actually working on regression. But if you don't fix the deficiencies, you're never going to be able to fix anything. How to do parasite cleanse, please? Why? Why do you want to do a parasite cleanse? It's very rare that anybody has parasites. Very rare. Unless you have issues with your diet, you have issues with your pH. And what I mean by pH is your pH is like almost as acidic as a vulture. It should be between 1.5 and 2. If your pH is not corrected, then you're actually allowing pathogenic to actually grow in your gut. And the first thing you're gonna notice is H. pylori. So I would check that first before considering doing a parasite cleanse. Nitrates, L-arginine, and citrulline. No, the problem is with L-arginine and citrulline as an amino acid, they work if you are under the age of 40. Once you actually hit over the age of 40, we lose the enzyme to actually convert usable amino acid into nitric oxide, like L-arginine and citrulline. Nitrate comes from arugula and beetroot, so it goes from nitrate to nitrite, nitrite to nitric oxide conversion. And we can still actually, because that's the pathway we need. We have two different pathways, one with amino acids. If you're under the age of 40, if you are over the age of 40, you have to use the nitrate coming from either arugula or coming from beets. And that's what we need. So I take an extracted version because you need 500 milligrams of nitrate to do the conversion to nitric oxide. If you take 200 or 300 milligrams, it doesn't do anything. So you have to take exactly 500 milligrams per dose. And that's the one I take. So if you're taking 500 milligrams, if you want to convert it to Arugula is roughly, you have to eat 250 grams of arugula. If you want to convert it to beetroots, you have to eat 300 grams of beetroot to get the equivalent. And that's usually how the whole concept works. Saw that Parasite was a reason for the big C, for the COVID, you mean? My doctor said left ventricle non-compaction cardiomyopathy is something was born with and it can be cured. Even if it's something you're born with, let's assume it is something you're born with, yeah, it means, there's certain supplementation you will have to take for the rest of your life to maintain it so it doesn't actually progress or becomes more of a failure. It's very, very simple. So I have beetroot. Thank you, brother. Yeah, beetroot works really good. The only thing is, if you're going to end up eating the beets, keep in mind they are high in oxalates and they are high in sugar, fructose. So sometimes they compete for the uptake. But if you can utilize them or make them into, what do you call them? Like ferment them or anything like that, even if you could, would be great. And if you're going to do the beets, probably best to kind of have them at night, because it actually prevents coagulation and actually vasodilate your arteries, which is really, really good. But you'll have to consume 300 grams. So 300 grams is going to be like roughly about 2 medium beets. But if you can get the beetroots or the beet greens as well, it's really good. Juicing is not bad, works really good. But the problem is, it's just the sugar that conflicts a bit, which is okay. It's not like you're eating a massive amount of it, right? So it should be fine. Ready? Does a beetroot supplement still have oxalates? No, it doesn't, because it's extracted. And if there's going to be any oxalate, it's going to be so minimal that it doesn't even conflict with the body. And keep in mind, if you're eating cheeses or taking anything that contains calcium, such as eggs and others, they actually bind to oxalates. So oxalates is not really a big thing unless you're consuming large amount of it. So let's say if you're eating beets and beets contain oxalates, then I wouldn't really worry too much. But what actually you have to worry is when you're eating spinach, because spinach has the highest levels of oxalates and it can cause a lot of issues in the kidneys. So you can always have a piece of cheese, you can have an egg, you can have anything that contains calcium in it that will actually bind to the oxalates. And as long as you have a good level of magnesium in your body, it will actually control your oxalate level quite good. Now, a lot of people sometimes have a lot of issues with oxalates because they are deficient in magnesium originally. Taking potassium, magnesium glycinate, L-carnitine, D-ribose, omega-3, fatty acid, ubiquinol, 600 milligrams. You're missing creatine, and you're missing bio-PQQ as well. Ready? Get it. Having too much fun. Dude, come down. Let's dig. Pick a spot. Here, this one. Go. Come on, get it. Right here. Can you explain how red LED is actually good for health when LED is actually bad for health? It's not whether it's good or bad. It's just it depends how you use it and what you're going to use it for. There's like a near or far infrared. It is really good for. I use it for eye strain more than anything. And I actually keep my eyes open when I do it for about 5-10 minutes a day, and it works really, really good, especially if I'm working on the computer. It does actually balance your blue light. It's a blue light that actually affects vision and affects the health more than anything. There's a laser LED lights. These are actually used for healing purposes because they penetrate a lot deeper into the skin. But keep in mind, a lot of this stuff, there isn't a whole lot of long-term studies on them. So how they affect our system in the near future, or whatnot, we still don't know. There's a lot of companies out there, they sell them. You know, I've tried some, didn't really feel a whole lot unless you're doing it daily and doing it consistent, but I use it to balance off the blue light from my computer screen. That's when I turn it on, and that's about it. I'm not a huge fan, to be honest with you, but for stimulation, they've been used for many years. So those supplements, those supplements should help with the left ventricle, non-compact cardiomyopathy. Just keep trying to push pacemaker and defibrillators. You don't need them. You don't need the you don't need any of the pacemakers or nothing, as long as you maintain it with the supplementation. And PQQ and D-ribose are going to be your most powerful for generating new mitochondria. I'm only asking because I was reading how the old non-LED was better for health, and LED has many ill effects. I'll have to look into it a little bit more. To be honest with you, a lot of the stuff you see so much hype about, I always question it, and I always, sometimes it's too good to be true, right? Like, I know I use the LED, I have a few of them myself, but the only time I use them, just for my eye strain, when I'm sitting on a computer for too long. Other than that, for healing purposes and others, I've tried them, didn't feel a difference. And I had one company send me like a very expensive machine that is a LED laser red, and did not really feel a difference at all. So, are they worth it? Not really, I don't know. I can't say much other than I didn't feel nothing from it. And I think sometimes they could be more of a waste of money more than anything. But a lot of people swear by them. The information on calcium out there confuses me. I thought we were not supposed to take it because I guess in our blood natural sources would be better. Well, when I talked about calcium, I'm not talking about supplementation. I'm talking natural intake of calcium that comes from bone broth, or comes from eggs, or comes from cheeses. I'm not talking about you taking calcium. I don't believe in taking calcium at all, because it could cause actually more issues than good. Where can I find PQQ? What's the exact name? So PQQ is a genetic name, and it's a synthetic form, but look for bio PQQ. Actually, it comes out of Japan. There's about 11 companies that actually sell it in North America. Just gotta make sure you look for bio PQQ. That's the original form, and it's a natural format. It's very, very expensive. You only need about 10 to 20 milligrams daily. You don't need much. And it's good to take it with your ubiquinol. Any tips for stomach inflammation? Yeah, there's lots. It all starts with the food you eat. The food you eat, or you think it's healthy for you, it doesn't seem that it could be as healthy because it's causing some inflammation in the gut. I'm having a bowl of arugula. Unfortunately, I don't have a blue cheese to eat it with. Oh, blue cheese would have been good, or even drizzle some olive oil. Olive oil would be really nice with arugula. This is the first year that I go through the summer. I was so focused on my chickens that I didn't grow any arugula at all, which is kind of sucks. So everything that I've been growing right now, which is all I have is like pumpkin, I don't even eat that stuff because I'm strictly like carnivore 99% of the time. So I actually, everything I've been growing, just been feeding it to the chicken. I'd rather feed it to the chicken and get like some really good quality eggs, because it's gonna be like dense nutrients compared to the freaking damn vegetables. But yeah, arugula is one of my favorite. That's the only thing that I would love to eat every single day if I can grow it. Oh, there goes my rooster. How much D-ribose per day? At least minimum 10. Minimum. You don't want to exceed 10 grams. So I would go like 2.5 grams 3 times a day, or I would go 5 grams twice a day. Do you think niacin flush is helpful? Yeah, 100%. Especially if you're trying to control your lipids. What's your advice on H. pylori treatment with no antibiotics? It takes roughly about 90 days to actually kill off pylori with no antibiotics. Antibiotics do not work. They will actually get things worse. But yeah, there's a protocol I have for H. pylori, and almost successful rate is about 92%. And sometimes if they've had H. pylori for too long, it could take sometimes up to 6 months to eliminate it. Hey Pepe, 267 triglyceride is way too high. So your triglyceride to HDL is way too high. You're eating too much fats or too much sugars maybe. Lipoprotein small a, 123, HbA1c. What is riskier, taking statins or keeping high cholesterol? I think you should book a time with me and we can actually discuss this in details. But due to these numbers being unbalanced, by the time you're gonna naturally try to fix them, you're already causing some damage to your body. If you take statin right now, statin is gonna help reduce the risk until you start fixing your diet. Once you fix your diet, then we can wean off the statins. But you have to kind of be consistent and actually stick to the protocol. If you want, and you book a time with me, I can create a full protocol for you. We can reduce triglyceride ASAP and work on your HbA1c. The problem with HbA1c 5.9, we like it to be about 5%. It's gonna take you probably about a good year and a half to reduce it. So in that meantime, you don't wanna cause any arterial stiffness and damage. So yeah, taking statins will actually help. At least you reduce some of the risks until you fix your HbA1c levels, probably your glucose and others. How to book a time with you? If you go to my website, guys, I don't know if I can type it here. It's stan.store/my full name, Maurice Deher. And you can go to my website and you can book if you book a 60-minute, you will get a protocol part of the phone call. If you book it 30 minutes, make sure you have a pen and paper ready, because I do speak quite fast and I do give quite a bit of details. So make sure you're ready to take notes. But if you want a full protocol written, it's better to book a full hour with me. I'll discuss everything with you. I'll teach you how to utilize it and everything, how to actually reduce certain issues and how we actually go after the root cause. And we'll do some blood work to make sure you are on the right track and your body is actually responding correctly to the supplements and responding correctly to the diet. So again, the website is stan.store/my full name, which is Maurice Deher. And you can get access to my website. And if you guys get a chance to go to my Substack, I do write a lot of articles, a lot of valuable information. There is a private section, there's a free section, and there's a lot of valuable information there, especially if you love reading and if you love to kind of copy stuff and print it. I think it will help quite a bit of you guys out there, because I talk about a lot of things from cardiovascular to fitness to supplementation, everything in protocol. And now since I got a question asked about the LED lights, whether they're good or harmful for us, I can't remember who asked me that question. I will actually write an article on it. I'll do a little bit more research and I'll put my experiences with it, and you guys can decide whether you want to use something like that or you don't. Me personally, I think it's a waste of money. That's my personal thoughts. I use it only to actually for eye strains. Other than that, I would never spend the thousands of dollars they charge. And I think there's a lot of stuff out there. When I test it out, I don't feel a difference. It's because I've been following such a strict diet for the past 11 years, being carnivore or eating meat for the past 11 years. So a lot of the stuff, when I test it out, don't feel a difference. Thank you, really appreciate that, Mr. Nazar. I tried to donate to Duke, but PayPal won't let me. Unsure if it's just setting on your side. If it's because I'm overseas, any other option to do this, please let me know. Yeah, PayPal is one of them. If it's not working, Carrie, um, you can always send me an email. I'm sure you can get like a stars through YouTube, like a like stars for a few dollars, and any donation to Duke is really appreciated. Keep in mind, guys, I feed Duke only raw meat and eggs. That's all he eats. He eats the same as me. I don't feed him any kibbles or nothing. And I always gonna say thank you to Sandra because she's been very generous all the time. Um, and yeah, Kerry, if you get a chance as well, would be really appreciated. I'm heading out. All the best, getting ready for the colder days. I'm sure you'll enjoy the fall and winter off grid. You're being prepared. Enjoy your day, Maurice and Duke. Thank you so much, Sandra. You have a happy Sunday, and definitely will touch base. Maurice, ejection fraction from 13% to 19% in 2 months. Is that slow progress or pretty fast? That's pretty good, actually. That's pretty fast. I can't say pretty fast because, Mike, it's all about how fast your body adapts to things and how bad certain issues has been and how many years. So my last patient, we started at 20% and I went up to 35% in 5 months. So keep in mind, certain bodies will actually take a little bit longer than others, and certain bodies will actually adapt much faster. It depends how bad the situation is, but ejection fraction is very crucial, very crucial. And you're taking the right supplementation for it. Just give it time. It's not gonna go back to like 55% within a month or two. Everything in the body takes time to heal. It's the same way when we're fixing a deficiency. To give you an example, if we're fixing a magnesium deficiency and I'm looking for 6 milligrams per deciliter and your levels are about 4, to go from 4 to 6, it could take anywhere between 2 to about 3 years to saturate, sometimes even longer. So be patient, never really rush things. About the red light, some have 7 different wavelengths. Can you include information on the wavelength of the brain weight loss? Yeah, I will, Area. I will write a full article on that. I will actually include all the different wavelength and what they do and how they penetrate and different frequencies, 100%. That would be good. Research to do everything now is freaking LED, incandescent and in traditional lighting is real deal. Many harmers of LED I've researched. Thank you. I will put everything together as a Tim. Definitely, I'll put it on my Substack. I'll write a full article on it. And yeah, like even in my tiny house, I don't even use LED. I use the old and decent bulbs. It's funny. You buy a bulb for like $18 here in Canada, and the LEDs cost like $3, right? They do that purposely for a reason. So the one I have is just the old traditional light. I love them. It makes a tiny house look nice. It's nice and dimmed yellowish color, no LED, nothing. And that's what I like. I know I still use the LED red light for my eyes, but other than that, we're by the computer, we're by the phones all day long. So we're constantly hurting our vision and hurting everything. And that's why people are having a hard time sleeping most of the time. But yeah, I'll do a really good info on it. I'll put everything I know for you guys. Come here, Duke. Dig right here. Good. Duke is way too much fun. I was smoking again for a month. I stopped again. Do you think that brought my RF back down, or I should be cool? The problem is with the smoking. Keep in mind, it's not so much that it could affect the system. It's more about affecting the pump for the heart, which is your lungs, right? So if your lungs are not pumping correctly or they're getting quite affected by certain toxic chemicals, it will actually reduce the ejection fraction of your arteries. So what I would recommend is, if you're gonna smoke, stay away from the heavy chemical man-made smoke. Do your own, like 100% tobacco that contains, a single ingredient, than to actually smoke something you buy from the store that contains 98 different chemicals. And the chemicals that they're affecting you, not so much the nicotine or the smoking style. Where did you find incandescent. I'm having trouble. Oh, I was looking for so long, and I ended up finding one on Amazon. But it was not cheap. Here, let me show it to you. It's like, and the thing is, when you buy it, the company does not offer any returns. So they said no returns because they know they tend to burn, and hopefully it doesn't burn. Then when I got it here, it's stupid. It came in damaged. So when I was in the city, I went to an old shop, and they actually were selling them. But so I installed it on this little, on this here. I don't know if you can see it, like the old style. But that's what I have. But it doesn't light up as much, but it makes the area look nice, and it lights up mostly at night, which is nice to have. Still gotta fix my fan and close it off. How long you've been living off grid, and long more you're seeing yourself living there? I'm gonna stay here for good. That's it. I've been coming to this location, to this land here for the past 7 years, 5 to 7 years, and every year I started all the way in the bottom. We're talking about 800 meters down. And every year I come, I spend like 2 months, clean one section, move up, clean one section, move up. I bought that first trailer there to stay in it while I work for about 2 months every day. 2 months a season. So I used to stay here 2 months and I go back to the city. Then finally I made it here on the 5th year. I got to this location on 5th year. We flattened it and I started building. I finished building my tiny house. Took me 45 days to do it. And I had to leave again because the water would freeze, the septic would freeze, everything, because I didn't have everything fully set up. Then last year before I left, I kind of installed some power and everything, because the solar wouldn't work in this area because we have 2 big mountains that I don't get much sun. So this year would be the first year for me that will stay all year long, and hopefully nothing freezes. So we'll see how it goes. And I got my wood stove installed and everything. So it'll be exciting. So I'll be here. I'll be here for good. This is my main location. As long as nothing happens in Canada and we get freaking screwed around. Oh, so a month of smoking, you think, brought my EF back down from 19? Like I said, it's hard to say. It's hard to say, Mike, because I don't know the type of cigarettes they are. I don't know how often you're smoking, how often you're doing everything. But keep in mind, your lungs are the pump for your heart. If your lungs are struggling, then the pump is not going to be effective enough or efficient enough. So ejection fraction could possibly slow down. Keep that in mind. And HRV plays a huge role in this. Okay, so we're looking for a very strong HRV, and the best way to do a strong HRV is by keeping the system quite clean. I was smoking 1 small cigar a day, so this cigar shouldn't be too bad if it does not contain any chemicals. Like we're talking like natural tobacco and stuff. And sometimes there's things in life we do because we enjoy it and it makes us feel good. So if that cigar makes you feel good and you enjoy it, I'm not saying go ahead and stop it, because something that you enjoy, as long as you know the effect of it on your health and what you can do to actually overcome that, then stick to it. I'm not gonna force you, tell you, hey, stop it, it's killing you. I don't know that for sure, because I don't know the quality or the quantity or how do you feel when you actually smoke it. So all these things you have to actually monitor, like as a diary, and kind of take notes and kind of question how you feel, how you sleep, how you eat, how's your body weight, how's your insulin, how's your deficiencies, everything. Then we can kind of narrow it down and say, okay, is the cigar really affecting you? And if it's affecting you by what's the percentage? 5%, 2%, 3%? Can I live with the reduction of 5%? then enjoy it. If not, then you have to eliminate it. No, I know you're giving me the name and everything of the cigar. I'll just have to research it and find all the information. Like I said, if you really want me to dig into this, it's probably better to book a time and we can kind of discuss it more in detail. But for me, you giving me the name and stuff, I'm just kind of giving you as an example some of these things that will actually affect the body. Hi, I used to see you on TikTok, don't see you anymore. How you been? Hey, Steven, how are you? I was banned from TikTok almost about 2 months ago due to the videos and the information I share with everybody. And you know how I am. I've always kind of talk about so much truth and everything. So finally got banned. It's been about a month and a half, 2 months ago. So I'm mostly on here on YouTube. I did open up a new account, but I couldn't do live yet till I hit over 1,000 people again. But we'll start maybe doing that again. But in the meantime, I'll stay with YouTube more than anything. Yeah, a lot of people sometimes they'll get banned for certain things. Already lost 2 accounts, so I had to start another one. And unfortunately, it wouldn't let me keep any of my videos, keep any of my Duke pictures or nothing. So the account was shut down overnight and I couldn't access anything. Where do you get your water? From the creek. It's a spring water. I get it. I go fill up the water from the creek, goes into my stainless steel filter. And from the stainless steel filter, I actually add my electrolyte to it. And the electrolyte is 2 type of salt. We got Himalayan red mint salt. I got sea salt from Vancouver, and I got trace minerals, and I got magnesium sulfate, and I got potassium. So that's my electrolyte drink. And sometimes I would put like a teaspoon of, hey Duke, teaspoon of apple cider or lemon. So that's what I put in the water. I don't drink water on its own, because if you do drink water on its own, you're gonna overstimulate your kidneys, especially if it does not contain any minerals. Usually, if I drink water on its own, I'll probably drink about 3 of these. If I actually do it into electrolyte, I'll probably drink 1.5, because we don't need that much water. Even thought I drink about 3-4 cups of coffee sometimes, like today, to stay awake, because I haven't really rested, because I drove 8 hours to the city, 8 hours back, that's 16 hours. And I had to work for 8 hours, so I didn't have time to actually fully relax and recover. And Duke kept me awake for the past week and a half because we were getting hit with coyotes at night, 2 o'clock in the morning. So he rushes outside and wants to go after them and barking all night long. Celtic salt is good. A lot of the Celtic salt and all these things, they say they contain heavy metals. Like seriously, what doesn't contain heavy metals? Everything contains heavy metals. As long as we're living under chemtrails, guess what? Everything contains heavy metals. So when people tell you, oh, don't take Celtic salt or don't take this, it contains heavy metals, well, guess what? Everything contains heavy metals, even our soil, our food, everything. What is the difference between lamb, beef, and mutton? Thinking about your title of the video, what's the best for health? Your number 1 would be lamb fat. I was talking a little bit more towards the fat and the ratios. Lamb fat for cooking and eating would be like your number 1, because the ratio is amazing, and it actually is very neutral on ApoB. And ApoB is what causes atherogenic or causes heavy beat on your glycocalyx. Then you have beef tallow, keeps your ApoB natural. These 2 would be your top, and these 2 would be your top for cooking. Other than that, if you have issues with ApoB, I would stay away from anything dairy, such as butter or ghee, because they actually tend to increase it due to the palmitic acid in it. and you want to go with the stick with the lamb. If you want to mix it with coffee, it's better to do MCT because it has no effect on ApoB. That's the only reason I wanted to put that out there, because a lot of people are kind of a little bit confused about what kind of fat to use for cooking and whatnot, especially for individuals that actually have slow LDL clearance and or have issues with their ApoB. Hi Maurice, my dad is on metoprolol, feeling extremely weak with low heart rate, has a pacemaker, and doc insists his heart rate can't be dropping because he has pacemaker set at a higher pace. Yeah, I can help you with that. How long has he has a pacemaker for? Is it recently? Is it something we can work with? But yeah, the metoprolol does that. It actually makes you mellow and you become like almost like lazy. You feel lazy. I was on metoprolol 11 years ago and I know the feeling of it. It's just, you don't feel like doing nothing. You feel, seriously, you feel like shit. It's like the doctor comes up to me and tells me, hey Maurice, would you rather have a heart attack or live like a vegetable? I'm like, no, I'd rather have a heart attack and enjoy life than live like a vegetable, because being on these medications, that's what they do. And being on metoprolol more than 5 years, it start to shrink your brain. So be careful for your dad. Sherry, if you want a really good protocol and to overcome a lot of these things, book a time with me. We can talk about it. I can set you a protocol, but your dad has to stay consistent, especially if I'm gonna get him weaned off the medication. I'm trying to stick with 4 bottles of water a day. How do you deal with getting thirsty after the 4 bottles? Well, first of all, if you're drinking plastic, that's your biggest mistake, because plastic will never let you feel hydrated, because it mimics estrogen, and when it mimics estrogen, you become more estrogen dominant, and that's not good. That's not good at all. Wait, my friend. Is mutton no good? Yeah, mutton is good. I just don't have access to it here in Canada. I wish I could have access to it. Thank you, Maurice. Yeah, mutton is good. So my first choice would be lamb, mutton, then beef. And then the only reason, you know, I started doing the research because I'm like, you know, I'm originally from the Middle East, right? A lot of Middle Eastern, a lot of European, we lived heavily on lamb and goat and mutton compared to North America, where they lived heavily on beef. So I started doing the comparison and I actually broke it down per fat ratios and everything. And it turned out that lamb has one of the best ratio for your fats. So we're talking more monounsaturated than saturated. And the thing is, you know, if you fall in that ratio of 33% of the population that have issues with ApoB, I'm one of them, or you have the FH, or you have the ApoE4 as a genetic, then you'd actually do way better eating lamb fats and mutton, let's say, or even goat compared to beef. So that's how you have to look at it. I hope that makes sense. Because a lot of individuals, they follow the carnivore diet and they see their cholesterol spikes and everything spikes. And I don't really care much about the cholesterol. What I care about is your ApoB not being too high and causing your glycocalyx to become thin. So that's where you want to make sure you understand what fats will benefit you and what fats do benefit you, but sometimes they could harm you on the long term. Boron, so there's my water. I put in here boron. Well, I don't put boron actually, I put borax. Because boron, you need minimum 10 milligrams for it to work really good for your bone density, for your testosterone, for estrogen, for everything, and for actually removing calcium from your carotid arteries. But you have to get it as borax. Every 1/8 of a teaspoon of borax will give you roughly about, what was it, 34 or 52 milligrams of boron. So that's what you need on a daily basis. But buying boron of 2 milligrams or 4 milligrams, you're wasting your money, because you're going to be using that bottle in 3 days. And you can buy a whole box of borax for almost like $7 that will last you probably 3 to 4 years. I would love to show it to you, but I can get shut down if I do. That's what happened in TikTok. I was showing them the borax brand and they closed me down. Where do you get borax from? Detergent aisle. Look for 20 mule. Duke, come here. So drinking in glass, drinking copper, or drinking in stainless steel. Don't drink in plastic. Nothing should be in plastic. Anything in plastic is gonna mimic estrogen. If you cannot get away from plastic, then start taking calcium D-glucarate to flush out excess estrogen from your body. People that actually drink from plastic, they'll drink and they'll stay thirsty no matter what. If you're drinking 4 bottles of water from plastic, the issue is it's not the water that is not working for you, it's the plastic that is actually working against you. Yeah, my back still hurts from being twisted yesterday lifting the bike. So sometimes I have a hard time sitting down. All water from the stores comes in plastic. Yeah, then don't buy water from the store. Get a filtration like I have here. You know, fill up the water from your tap water, filter it, and add your minerals to it. That's it. Don't buy anything plastic. Don't buy any water from the stores. You don't know how long that water's been sitting there. It's probably been sitting in a container. From the container, by the time they ship it to the store, it get hit with light, with heat, with cold. Already so much chemicals have been released in that water, and now you're actually drinking it. So you're drinking chemicals more than anything. So buy zero plastic, zero water from the store. Fill up your filtration. I don't care how dirty your filtration, your tap water is, filter it. Then add your own mineralization. Do you work out? Yeah, I work out every day, but I haven't for a week. So I have my bike here. I don't know if you can see it. I have my rogue bike. I have something else coming. I have all my weights outside. So I do a lot of compound training more than anything. If you guys want me to kind of start showing you my training routines and everything, we can start to do lives on that as well too, and kind of go a little bit more in details. Should K2 be taken as an additional and separate supplement too? I take it with vitamin D. I would take it separate because your vitamin D should be taken with first meal. Vitamin K2 should be consumed with last meal, because that's when the body regulates calcium, is at night. So that's when you take your vitamin K2. But keep in mind, without having enough magnesium, no vitamin D3 or K2 will work effectively. Is that Berkeley filtration? I think so. Yeah, it is. It is the Berkeley filtration. I have a specific filtration in there. The filter that I have, it doesn't really matter for me. I'm not really big on a lot of the filters they use. So I'm using just a charcoal filter to actually capture any sediment, because I get my water directly from the creek and I just run it through it and I just kind of remove all the sediment and I drink it. Yes, please show workout routine. I will start showing the workout routine next week. I'm just waiting for one of my row machine to come in. I'll start probably doing that while talking to you guys. I'll do my workout. I'll do the bike, the head training. We'll do the whole thing. Make it a little bit more interactive. And this way, if you guys have questions and issues, why I do these specific workouts, and we can talk about it. And I think I'll be doing a lot more of that during the winter time, because I won't be doing much building anymore because I pretty much got everything done up to date. I just have to finish the roof there with the metal, then after that it'll be good. How do we keep mitochondria healthy and live? Your main core for mitochondria is eating healthy. Of course, that's one thing because nothing can beat healthy foods. We're talking eggs and beef and lamb and goat. Eating like your good quality dense nutrients, eating beef heart and liver, that would be good. If you're looking at supplementation, you do need creatine, you do need PQQ, D-ribose, and ubiquinol. These would be like your top four. I know L-carnitine plays a role in this, but these are your top four. I take lots of magnesium but can't stay asleep. Any suggestion? Um, it's not sometimes the magnesium, it's your environment. You know, is the room cool enough? Um, are you winding down 2 hours before you sleep? Are your eyes not looking at blue light 2 3 hours before sleep? So all these things matter because it stimulates your brain. So the whole idea to actually get your brain to go into a relaxation stage. It doesn't mean that you can watch TV or play on the phone or watch TikTok or watch YouTube and have the phone beside you while you have your head on the pillow. That doesn't work. You actually have to move away from the phone at least 2 hours prior. If you don't do that, the magnesium can only do so much. Other than that, it's all about the environment, the black curtains, the sheets, the cotton you're using, everything plays a huge role. If that doesn't help, you do need glycine. I don't recommend melatonin. Melatonin doesn't work for everybody. The problem is it's better to take cherry tart. Cherry tart will actually give your body, depends how much melatonin you require instead of getting a direct melatonin. It's better to actually fix your circadian, fix your gut, and that will actually help you sleep better. You asked before how long my dad has pacemaker. 1 year, had been in and out of hospital and bounced around on different medication, yet still isn't right. Thoughts? Okay. Yeah. What I'll do, Sherry, is once we talk, if we decided to book a time, I'll give you a list of blood work we can do, and I can actually monitor things and find out whether he does really require it or he doesn't. And if he doesn't, we can get him off of it and get him off metoprolol. But I have to fix the deficiency that he has. Hi, what is your personal best on a rowing machine for 500 or 2000? If you have tried it. But the look of your physique, I would say you go under 130. To be honest with you, I haven't done the row machine for almost 4 years. And I haven't done the Rogue machine for almost 6 months. I had to actually go back to the city to pick it up. And the Rogue machine, because it's been so long, I used to go to the gym and I haven't. So I'm waiting for it to come in. I finally got one company, they got me sponsored and they sending me one. So once I get it, I'll definitely go on it, Herbert, and we can start to check. But yeah, I've been doing physical activity probably for more than 20 years. So that's why I'm quite fit, but haven't done a lot of these machines for a long time. So looking forward to it. Skip my question, I think. Re-ask it again, dedicated one, please. Is IT better? Is it better to take D3 and zinc in the evening with magnesium glycinate? No, I would take it during the daytime. I would take vitamin D3 during the daytime, zinc at night. I like zinc in the evening, magnesium. Supposed to take it about 4 or 5 times a day. Melatonin, about an hour before you sleep. 5-HTP, 30 minutes before you sleep. I'm making an application for sleep, and I'll tell you guys how I do things to get 2 hours of deep sleep. A bit rude, man. Respect him. Nathan, what did Nathan say? Best supplement for brain fog. MCT. MCT, any type of fat, saturated fats, MCT, all that stuff is really, really good for the brain. Brain fog is usually some mitochondria, and sometimes it's a lack of nitric oxide production. So nitrate would be a really good way to actually increase flow because it's all about blood flow. Thoughts on Jack Cruz? What about him? One move on, mate. This is not the channel to ask those questions. Respect, please. You know, we're gonna get, we will always get these odd people that, you know, they ask, you know, different questions, different things, and, you know, some I'm gonna read every single question out there. If I'm gonna answer, I will answer it. If I'm not gonna answer it, you know why. It's just, let's keep it in regards to what our discussion is. I won't go above and beyond to just answer certain things just because somebody trying to have fun out here. That's all I can say. Subscribe to your Substack. Such a great value info. My family and I are so grateful for you. We have learned so much from you. Thanks so much. I really appreciate that comment. You guys, if you get a chance to subscribe to my Substack, especially if you love reading, it will support my channel, will support Duke as well, and I'll continue giving you guys, you know, latest information and help with anything to do with whether cardiovascular or full body health. Apology, but I don't see how it's rude. Is there history I don't know about? I have a sleep deficit, but is there anything other than stimulants to increase energy? I will book another time with you. It's not stimulants that will increase energy. It's lack of blood flow, lack of mitochondria working at its 100% capacity. So everything in the body requires energy. Your sleep, when you eat, when you work, when with your family, playing with the kids, you know, whatever you're doing, everything requires energy. If your mitochondria is struggling, then what a lot of people do, they actually use stimulants to get the energy, such as coffee, green tea, taking certain supplementation. But that's not the issue. The issue is your mitochondria is becoming weaker. Your mitochondria is becoming dysfunctional. So you have to actually enhance your mitochondria. Nitrate is one of them because it does actually vasodilate your arteries from head to toe. By doing that, it increases the production of mitochondria. You know, things like eating liver, eating beef liver, lamb liver, heart, all that stuff contains rich nutrients such as coenzyme Q10, ubiquinol to actually enhance your mitochondria. So it's all about mitochondria. The question is, why is your mitochondria struggling? What's going on with your diet? What's going on with your lifestyle? What's going on with the environment? What's going on with the food you're consuming? And what's going on with your stress life, your anxiety? All that stuff matters. So we have to sit down and kind of check mark everything. And whenever we see there's a weakness, we have to work at that weakness. So therefore, we can actually enhance your mitochondria. It's the same thing that when we deal with testosterone, and automatically, when a person testosterone drops, they end up doing TRT. But that's not the issue. It's not TRT. It's because you become an estrogen dominant. So it's the same thing with mitochondria. Why is your mitochondria struggling that is causing you not to sleep? So you always got to question the mitochondria. How come I'm not sleeping? What am I doing wrong? How does one take B1? Does it deplete electrolytes? Does it need to be taken with another supplement? It doesn't deplete electrolytes. You're not taking that much. You're probably taking what, 100 milligram, maybe 500 milligrams. As long as you're getting enough B complex or eating liver or anything like that, then you should be fine. You will never become depleted. But the only reason it becomes depleted is because due to stress and anxiety. And sometimes we have a lot of individuals, they take specific vitamin Bs, but they don't take the full family. So even let's say if you want to take niacin to control your cholesterol, even though you're taking niacin as a single vitamin, you should always be taking B complex to actually prevent any depletion of other vitamin B complex, or add liver or beef heart to your diet. Thank you for the tip with beef tallow instead of coconut. Cheers to that, no problem. Stress is very huge. So if stress is very huge, the question is, how can we control stress? Do we take L-tyrosine? Do we take L-theanine? Do we take epigenin? Do we take ashwagandha? So that stress sometimes comes from the food we consume, because sometimes the food we consume can cause anxiety because we're losing certain mineralization in the body. Good afternoon, my friend. Nice to see you live again. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing good, Jazz. How are you? Is estrogen dominant bad for women also? Yes, it is, because that's why we end up seeing a lot of breast cancer, because they're becoming more estrogen dominant. Best supplement to take in pregnancy, please. Methylfolate, methylcobalamin. How to prevent headaches. Headaches are usually comes from lack of magnesium because your body is in so much contraction, not enough relaxation. So you have too much calcium that is causing contraction, not enough magnesium to actually help the body stay relaxed. And most of the time, Lily, is due to lack of electrolytes. So have electrolytes, take some vitamin D, some magnesium. Sorry, you just reminded me, I gotta take my magnesium. So I take about 2,000 or so total magnesium, 25, 3,000. Hi Maurice, what's the best ratio between B1 and niacin? I take 1-to-1 ratio. I can't remember what I did in the video because I did the video of niacin and B1. I can't remember the ratio, but I'm taking a 1-to-1 ratio. So my niacin, yeah, it is a 1-to-1 ratio that I've been taking. But keep in mind, I do take vitamin B complex to prevent any deficiencies in the vitamins. And of course, because I eat a lot of liver. Is estrogen in beef an important thing? Not really, no. It's not going to affect much. Even though it's highly hormonal, sometimes they add a lot of hormones. It doesn't really affect the body a whole lot. But it is good to kind of take the calcium D-glucarate once in a while to actually flush out. I usually will do that like 3 months out of the year. Is there a reason for headaches in pregnancy? So electrolytes and magnesium. There is electrolytes and magnesium, and like I said, because you have too much contraction in the body. Contraction will cause the headaches. You have your calcium to magnesium ratio should be always 2-to-1 or 1-to-1, and sometimes calcium is much higher. Most of the people and most of the ladies that they actually are pregnant, the ratio calcium to magnesium is almost 10-to-1, and that becomes an issue. So if you increase your magnesium, you should be fine. Like, we're not talking any type of magnesium, we're talking either magnesium glycinate or magnesium althreonate would work best. What kind of niacin? Niacin is gonna be the flush version. So it's gonna be either niacin or nicotinic acid. Niacinamide is mostly for longevity and metabolic usage. What's your thoughts on AGEs in cooked meat? Does it rapid skin aging? Glycation, it does, but that's why you shouldn't really be overcooking your meat, right? So that's why, like, usually when I cook the meat, I'll go like maybe 20 seconds, and pretty much you're almost like eating it medium rare, right? And if you're getting enough amino acids, especially carnosine, and you're getting vitamin B1 such as benfotiamine, that actually prevents AGEs. Is B1 supplement actually important to take? Well, it depends. It depends on your situation and what you're thinking of when I use vitamin B1 for. Like, I use vitamin B1, and I did a video on that, Steven, to actually combine it with niacin. But B1, it is good for, think of it as for energy, for nerve function. So usually if a lot of people have a lot of numbness, or they can't feel their toes, or they have nerve damage, that's because due to vitamin B1 deficient. And it does actually help with the glucose metabolism too. A lot of people that actually become diabetic or insulin resistant, they actually have a huge deficiency in vitamin B1. And the problem is we don't eat enough vitamin Bs because a lot of us were brought up not to eat beef livers or certain things such as organs, and that's where we get the most amount of that B vitamins. But I take B1 with niacin as a combination. I did a video on that because as a combination, they do help with regulating your calcium, but they actually support your mitochondria. So mitochondria is your energy, and they are actually neuroprotection. So they do protect your neurons as well too. So it depends what you want to use it for. How come we don't need sunscreen on carnivore? Well, we never really need sunscreen. Why do we need sunscreen for? Chemicals on our bodies? I haven't really used any all my life, and I would never touch any chemicals. And you're probably gonna notice that staying staying on a carnivore diet. And another thing is because you're not consuming any seed oils, your intake of polyunsaturated fats like omega 6s is very, very low, no seed oils, and your body will actually has its own protection. So your cells are quite stable and you're not gonna get any lipid peroxidation. So it's all because you eliminated the seed oils and you're not taking any omega 6. So your body is quite stable. Your skin, being the biggest organ, is gonna be stable and actually protect against UV. Hope you are around tomorrow. Hey Greg, have you used a synthetic version of B1 TTFD? Are you talking about the benfotiamine TDFD? Hold on. I don't think TTFD B1. Oh, you mean the thiamine? Thiamine? TTFD. What's the remedy for dry nose when waking up? Sometimes it's hard to breathe too. The only thing I would add would be like omega 3s. I wouldn't really add anything, but it's all due to the environment, the dryness. Depends where you live as well too, because some places are quite drier than others, that you wake up and having a hard time breathing. TDFD, thiamine of vitamin B1. Oh, you're talking about the tetrahydroforphol. That's a big freaking word. Yeah, buffalo meat is good. I eat mostly right now yak meat. Yak meat is good because it's very lean. It's very close to wild meat. I don't get much buffalo meat here. It's quite expensive, very, very expensive. I'm having on October, the NHPPA is having a Charter of Health Freedom tour in a few weeks. Follow Sean Buckley, third largest paper petition in Canadian history. Also, thoughts on fruits with carnivore diet for someone with Crohn's. I don't know if you want to use much fruits being on a carnivore. The question is, do you really need it? Only would be utilized per season. Please tell your followers. Like the only thing is, you wanna stay with low fiber as much as possible. I would kind of go with like berries would be ideal, but nothing much. Maybe apples, but that's about it. I wouldn't go any higher than that. Are frozen berries good? Like blueberries? Yeah, blueberries, huckleberries, blackberries. All these type of berries, they contain very small amount of low fiber and sugar. That would be ideal on a carnivore diet, but I wouldn't overdo it. Like maybe, and I would do it right after the meal because the meal contains quite a bit of fat, so will actually stunt the the insulin from spiking too much as well too. What do you recommend to get rid of parasites? I'm sure most people have them. Not really. Not everybody has them. I think it's all a myth. The only way you can tell if you have parasites, check to make sure whether you have H. pylori or not. If you do have H. pylori, then there's a possibility, yes. If no, then I would not worry. Our bodies are like tightly regulated with a proper pH that it does not allow, parasites to be floating in our bodies like everybody claims. It's all about marketing and trying to push things. Why stay with low fiber? That's only if you don't need fiber. Fiber is a myth, by the way. You don't need fiber to survive unless you're eating like a standard American diet. Or pretty much, and people that actually eat standard American diet, they're a little bit obese or overweight. So yeah, the fiber will help because it will actually suppress their appetite. I've been on a carnivore for 11 years. I don't eat fiber at all. Our bodies produce enough on its own from the food we consume. We don't need it. Is pork decent? Red meat is expensive. I don't eat pork. It's not whether I don't like it. I don't eat chicken or pork unless they're pasture raised. If they are pasture raised, then yes, no problem. But if they're not pasture raised, I will never touch them. Because chicken is heavily hormonal food, and the same with pork. And they cause more harm than good because their omega-6 to omega ratio is quite high. So I'd rather have the beef because of different levels. But is it halal? What is halal? What do you mean? So what can we have if we don't have fiber? Isn't it important for the body? No, it's not important. It's a myth. If you're eating berries, you're eating collagen, you're doing all that stuff, that's your fiber intake that the body can actually produce and make. You don't need to actually force fiber into your system at all. Also, how to not feel bad for the animals that are butchered. I turned from veganism. Animals are meant there to actually support human race and support us to actually hunt and thrive. People make such a big deal with marketing and everything. I used to be vegan before I had a heart attack 11 years ago. And I think that was the biggest mistake I ever done from listening to a doctor. As simple as that. You're the only practitioner me and my family trust. Thank you, Georgie, really appreciate that. And thank you for the support and all the hearts. The problem is with the media, you guys believe everything you watch. Question everything before you believe into it. I noticed your eggs were all brown. Are brown eggs better? It depends on the hens. The hens that I got, there's two types of hens. I've seen the white hens that actually they're bred to actually lay eggs on a daily basis, and there's the brownish hens that actually bred based on the food they consume. They will actually lay different color of eggs. Now mine, they have 3 different brown coloration, and it's based on the rooster. So I'm going to actually introduce a specific breed of rooster, so therefore I can get like a dark greenish, dark copper coloration. And the yolk will vary. The yolk could be anywhere from dark yellowish to dark orange based on what they consume and what they eat, and how much they scratch and they eat from the yard. Is Greek yogurt good? Yes, it is fermented. Also, yellower yolks are healthier or just another myth? No, they are healthier. The ratio of the omega-3 is much higher than the omega-6s. How much dairy should we consume daily or weekly? I don't consume dairy because I cannot get it raw. And dairy should actually be consumed being fermented. Not store-bought or anything like that. I haven't touched dairy for years, unless I buy it being as a cheese, aged. But I don't eat much cheese just because due to the histamine issue. I do drink it if I can make my own kefir, yes. If not, I don't. Chia seeds, good or bad? Chia seeds are just a hype. The only thing you're going to get from chia seeds is a fiber. Nothing less, nothing more. That's all it is. There's no good nutrient benefits or anything. If you have an issue with your cholesterol oxidizing, it might let a bit help, but there's no benefit. There's zero benefit from chia seeds. They will try anything out there to actually sell everybody and talk so highly about it, and people still gonna buy it, and it's a waste of money. What do you think about fish having mercury then going on the internet? Very small amount. Very small amount. So it's the same thing as you go in a grocery shopping and you're buying a cucumber, and the cucumber has heavy metals from the chemtrail. Chemtrails, they actually, all the heavy metals, they fall on the ground and the soil, and the soil we grow our vegetables. And there you go. It's the same thing as you eating fish. So if you're eating a small amount of fish, like say sardines or salmon, all that stuff is good. As long as you're not eating large breeds such as tuna and others, then they do contain high levels of toxic mercury. Nice to see you, Maurice. Long time. Hey, Moment. Ziggy, oh, how are you? Moments by Ziggy, that's what it was. It's been a long time. I hope you're doing good, staying healthy and active, and I hope your baby and your family are well. Give me a second, guys. Let's see here. What's you've been studying lately? I've been actually quite busy. I haven't been doing a whole lot recently. I've been really busy with a lot of patients and stuff, so it's been consuming a lot of my time. What's your thoughts on turmeric and spirulina? Turmeric is good for anti-inflammation. If it works, only works about 30% of the population. It does put a lot of stress on the liver. I wouldn't really recommend it. Spirulina is a waste of money as well too. All the hype on it just to kind of sell you green stuff that it does nothing to the body. Planning to add sardines with eggs every day. Sardines are excellent, especially if you can get them frozen or fresh. Would be ideal, not in a freaking can. Any alternatives to fiber on the benefit? It should actually gives what we have instead. We don't need fiber. Fiber is a myth. It's just more sawdust to sell you guys. You get natural fiber from eating berries, natural fiber from eating certain greens. The body does not need a whole, like they claim, 30 grams of fiber to actually feel optimal. It's all bullshit. The only reason you consume fiber is to kind of keep you satiated or don't overeat. And that's the only way you would lose weight. Do you really need fiber to poop? No, you don't. It's funny how people that consume fiber, they spend almost 20 minutes to 30 minutes on the toilet trying to poop. And yet people that actually thrive on carnivore, they go into the toilet and they're out within less than 10 seconds, and it's a ghost wipe, while the guys that actually consume fiber, they're still wiping to actually clean their bum. Like, to be honest with you guys, I've done all the testing on all the stuff. And a lot of the stuff, once you start to eliminate from your diet, and everybody says, well, carnivore is too expensive or eating meat too expensive. Well, if you stop buying all the accessories that you have to add on your food and you just eat like dense nutrient food like liver and beef and eggs, and guess what? You feel amazing. You don't need to add too many supplements. You only handful of supplements because you caused the deficiency before you start on a really good diet, because what we ate we thought was healthy, it's not necessarily healthy. Do you supplement with iodine? If I do not eat seaweed or fish, which is I don't have access to it, then sometimes I do, but we do get enough iodine from our mineralization. We just have to make sure we're getting proper amounts. So we maintain a proper T4 to T3 conversion. Did you say turmeric is hard on the liver? I think I missed. Yeah, it is hard on the liver. Sometimes it can cause, not everybody can actually tolerate it correctly. Is probiotic from store are good? No, they're a waste of money. Make your own kefir would be a lot more efficient than taking probiotics from the store. Can I eat 10 eggs at 60 kilograms? Yeah, you can eat 10, you can eat 20 eggs. What's that gonna happen? 20 eggs. So think of it this way. I'm just doing the calculation for you. So 20 eggs, even if you eat 10 eggs, that's about 5 grams of fat. Out of that 5 grams of fat, you only have 1.5 grams of saturated fats if you're actually worried about that. Is it going to cause any issue? Not really, unless you have issue with your LDL clearance, then your ApoB tend to go up. If you don't have issues with your LDL clearance, then you can eat 20, 30 eggs with no issues. How old do carnivores pass away? Well, where do you get that idea from? How old do carnivores pass away? The only reason they pass away because sometimes they eat blindly without knowing which genetic they have, because we're all freaking engineered. If you have the ApoE4, that means you're actually increasing your ApoB and you're constantly causing pressure on your glycocalyx. And that's why certain carnivores, people will probably have heart issues or cholesterol being oxidized because they're eating what influencer says, eat 2-to-1 ratio of fat. Well, you can only eat ratio of fat 2-to-1 only if you have a good LDL clearance. If you don't, then stick with what our animals contain. So for example, when we go hunting back in the days, as our ancestors have done, all the animals, they eat grass-fed, grass-finished when they're all quite lean. The only fat we consume is from bone marrow. So you see a lot of individuals, they add tons of butter and ghee and additional fats to feel satiated, which is an incorrect method of doing. What clears calcified arteries? If you don't fix a deficiency, you will never clear your calcified artery. When you look at the calcified arteries, you have 4 different categories. 4 different categories inside the calcified arteries. And you cannot just take one and say, hey, I'm going to take neurokinase and clear my arteries, or I'm going to take vitamin K2 and remove the calcium. Well, there's 4 different categories you have to work on. If you're not working on the 4 different categories, you're never going to be able to clean the calcification. Maurice, please put your glasses on so you can read me. Death race, vegetarian versus none. I don't know. I'll have to freaking look into it. If we're talking scientific bullshit that people actually test and who's sponsoring the studies versus carnivore, there's no study been done on carnivore. Do you ever wonder why? All the studies on vegetarian and vegans and different nutrition is all out there. The only thing that is missing is carnivore. Doesn't that give you like a clue that maybe it's hidden from the public so nobody can actually go after the right diet that our ancestors ate? How to check your body type like you just mentioned. There's testing you can do. You can check for ApoE4. You can check if you have FH. You can check if your LDL clearance works or not. You can check if you have LDL receptors that are actually functioning correctly or not. All these, if they got checked and they're 100% working good, then yeah, you can eat all the fats you want and your body's gonna actually clear it. If not, you'll be like me. For example, if I eat a ribeye steak that has 100 grams of fat, the 100 grams of fat, it might take maybe 6-7 days to clear, while a person that does not have the FH can clear it within 24 hours. So it's all about how your body clears it. And that's why, I'm not saying one diet works perfect for everybody. The diets that work for everybody, but you have to know exactly how much sugar to consume and how much fat to consume. If you're clueless about that, you're just playing like Russian roulette with your system. If your ApoA is good, but ApoB is elevated, what does that mean? So the ApoA to ApoB ratio has to be below 0.57 or 0.61, I believe. That's the ratio we're looking for. But keep in mind, having a very high ApoB above 80 still causing a lot of heavy hit on your glycocalyx. So a glycocalyx can take anywhere between 10 to 15 years before it becomes thin. So let's say you have high ApoB and you have ApoA1 and they're all actually, the ratio is good, but your ApoB should not really exceed the 80 nanograms per deciliter. If it does, that means there's a lot of stress on your glycocalyx. It doesn't mean it's going to cause a heart attack. It doesn't mean that it's going to actually cause soft plaque. But the problem is, if it constantly beating on that glycocalyx, eventually that glycocalyx is going to become thin. And the only reason it becomes thin because you're insulin resistant, you were eating seed oils back in the days, there's a lot of other things you were doing. So it's all about the glycocalyx. So ApoB is 96 is not bad. It's better to be under 80. So how do you configure that? That's based on the fat you consume. So for example, if you like to cook with beef tallow, I'd say, okay, if you're cooking, let's say with coconut oil, I will say throw coconut oil away and cook with beef tallow, because coconut oil is very high in lauric acid, and lauric acid can affect ApoB, but the beef tallow is very neutral on ApoB, or even the lamb fat does not affect ApoB. So that's the way we have to actually play with it. And if you actually still gonna do it with the coconut, then say, okay, let's drizzle some olive oil on the salad so we can actually balance everything. Is ApoB checked by blood test? Yes, it is. By the way, fans, if you are thinking about it, I highly recommend you book with Maurice. Really good working with him. You get what you pay for. Thank you for putting that out there, Jazz. Cheers. You have to fight your doctor to check those, or you just have to pay out of pocket. Yeah, some doctors don't want you to check them because they don't want you to know the answer. They just want to feed you medications and tell you, hey, take your statins, stop arguing, and just listen to the pharmaceutical bullshit. Like, seriously, that's all it is, because they don't want you to actually fix yourself. You can actually heal yourself. They don't want thinkers. They want followers. You either become a follower, you keep your head down and you follow, or you become a thinker and you think outside the box a bit. So you guys have to make that decision. Yes, Jazz, I got my life back because of Maurice. Cheers, Ziggy. Thanks so much for the comments. But you said you don't have much level. I'm gonna stay for another 15 minutes and that's it. Then I'm gonna go eat my last meal of the day. I eat my last meal at 2 p.m. for a reason. Is the sun coming through glass safe for our bodies? Is the sun coming through glass safe for our bodies? Probably. I'll have to check to see. I'll have to dig into it a little bit more, but I think it's safe. Isn't it good to have meat with half fat on? Currently, I have that. You could, like, don't get me wrong, Stephen. You could have like a ratio 2 to 1, or you can have a ratio 1 to 1. It's all about your clearance, your LDL clearance, and it's whether you have the issue or not. If you don't have the issue, by all means, enjoy it. Who is the best to get private blood tests in Alberta? The thing is, in Alberta, you'll have to, like, some of this testing, like the ApoB, for example, the LP small a, all these are actually free in Canada, but the doctor does not write them down. So in the bottom right corner, you can write them down and you can check your results online. The doctor doesn't have to freaking know. Maurice, can diet fix kidney failure on dialysis? Yes and no. Partially, yes. You have to eliminate fructose quite a bit. If it's not fully damaged, yes, partially you can recover. And so far, I usually put people on NMN and TMG to actually help with the kidneys. Do you have a website I can go and book a call with you? Yes, if you go to stan.store/Maurice Deher. Maurice, what is your actual certification? TikTok certified. That's a joke, but yeah, sure. How do you find out if the meat fat is negatively affecting me? Check your ApoB. If your ApoB is going above 80, then your LDL clearance is not working correctly. Check your OXLDL, supposed to be under 60. Check your MPO and LPPLA2 and HSCRP. These are like your valuable numbers to check. I have catastrophic tendinitis since we last met. I've been trying red light therapy machine on the left ear, not working. Well, check out ozone on hyperbaric. Tendonitis. You have to do it on a specific frequency. I think I wrote an article on that. Can you mention the link here, please, again, after the live? I will put it on the. I don't know if I can log in right now and put it, but I'll put it on the video. It is on my website, on the video itself. Yeah, I'll put it on the video itself. I don't know if I can access it right now. Let me see if I can access and put it on. We should just make Maurice AI chatbot. Let's see here. I don't know if I can put it. Edit, maybe. Edit title, no. Comment. I'm gonna put it in the details. Maybe that would work. I'll put here website and I just hit save. Maybe that would work. All those checks you said, where do I get that checked? Blood test? Yeah, you have to get a blood test from the doctor, Stephen. Tinnitus is a complex issue, Jazz. I have the same. I think I wrote an article on that, and I have 8 people testing a specific unit from Japan that infrared light goes inside their ear, their nose, and on their wrist. And it's like you can buy it from like Alibaba and stuff like that for like $100 and some. I have like a few people, 8 people actually using it. I'm waiting for their feedback still. But tendonitis is usually caused by oxalate damage. Let me see. I'm gonna pull up my my article. I totally respect your advice and opinions. Thank you. Can you, Sherry? For tendonitis, yeah, it is. So in my article, so you do need magnesium, zinc, vitamin B12, ginkgo biloba, and taurine, and you do need. It's a neck tension and fixing jaw. So if you go to your chiropractor and gotten that, do that, and you have to remove, caffeine, and it's all about circulation. It's all about circulation. Do you have a video on all those ApoB markers? I do, yeah. Go watch my latest video, the one that I did last week and the one before. Improve sleep and circulation. The device, I'll go look it up. But try to actually increase your magnesium, zinc, B12, ginkgo biloba, taurine. Get your jaw and your neck tension. Probably go to a chiropractor, Ziggy and Jazz, and get that adjusted. I'm sure it helps. 5 months no caffeine. That's awesome. And I'm still here freaking drinking 4 cups a day. Haven't stopped. Yeah, go ahead and get it done. But you haven't done the jaw adjustment or neck tension yet. Sorry, could you repeat that? I wish I can write them down. So in my article, I did mention magnesium, zinc, B12, ginkgo biloba, and taurine. And if you are over 40, you should be taking nitrate because it's all about circulation. Then you need to get your jaw and your neck tension adjusted with a chiropractor. It's the best, not gonna lie. I just miss its taste. It is good. I was drinking like the coffee mushroom, which has very small amount of caffeine for almost 7 months. So in a way, I kind of felt that I kind of quit coffee for 7 months. And now I'm back to like drinking to my regular coffee. And seriously, it's like the best thing I can ever have and taste. And it feels so good. And people, put down coffee so bad. I think it's a freaking... It does kind of raise your cortisol a bit, but as long as you overcome that with ashwagandha and others, you're fine. We all have like a bad habit. My bad habit is drinking coffee, and I love it. If it's gonna age me and make me lose hair, oh well. Can a blood test be done online too, where we send it and the results come directly? If you are in the USA, yes, Stephen. Life Extension does offer that on certain blood work that I did mention, but here in Canada we don't. We have to actually go to a clinic to get it done. I did that combo for 2 months with no effect. The cause is overpressure from CAP machine, a rotated nerve or something dislocated from pressure. Oh wow, okay. So it could be other issues as well. Chiropractors in BC are banned from doing tendonitis treatment. Oh really? That's interesting. I am in the UK. Okay, yeah, you are in the UK. You'll have, yeah, it's gonna be tough. So it's almost like you're in the UK is gonna be like the same us here in Canada, where we have to go to a doctor and they have to write the prescription, even if it's paid or non-paid. It's just the heavy control. But if you can get your ApoB tested, that would be like you'll know exactly where you stand. A special chiro near Pittsburgh adjusted my plate on the roof of my mouth and lifetime of TMG was corrected. Oh, perfect. Thanks so much for putting that out there. Sometimes I think, us Canadians or UK, we have to fly to the US or fly to Japan to get some of these testing done because in certain countries we're so freaking controlled that we can't even go and get certain things done. And a doctor will never give you an okay. He will always kind of argue with you and question you. Are you always live during this time? I like to do it on Sundays. Not always this time, it just varies because I haven't done it for 2 weeks. I've been finishing building my stuff for the wood stove. But yeah, moving forward, I like to do it every Sunday if possible with YouTube, with you guys. In all honesty, our medical system is totally untrustworthy. Well, our system, we don't even have a healthcare system. Let's just put it that way. Are you always live? Yes, hard here, even if there's payment. Such a hassle. They make it tough. Sometimes, like here in Canada, for example, if I want to get something, I've been waiting for my CCTA scan for 8 months, and it hasn't been approved. And I'm like, I can fly to the USA, probably pay out of pocket, get it done within a day, and come back to Canada, and I'll be all done instead of me just waiting, right? It just the system, and yet. I don't want to even start talking some of these places we live in. You can't even open up your mouth or breathe correctly. Yes, hard. It's faster and cheaper to fly to Shenzhen to get MRI than wait for our system in BC. It is made tough, 100%. Yeah, it's all about kind of controlling things and stuff, which is unfortunate. The real shady heart. Are you waiting for Nigar? But people like me on disability cannot afford private option and are left to suffer. Oh, 100%. And we're all in the same situation where it's they don't make it easy at all. You look like the lead actor from The Walking Dead. I get that quite a bit, actually. Oh man. So we'll stay another 10 minutes or so. What happens if someone is low on methylfolate? You're gonna end up noticing that your homocysteine tend to creep up, and if homocysteine creeps up, you're gonna experience high blood pressure, foggy brain, stress, anxiety, depression, not sleeping good, stiffness of the arteries, atherosclerosis. So all these are actually related to homocysteine going up because it's not getting methylated correctly. Duke is inside. Let's go. Oh, he heard his name. He comes right away. Let's see. Where is he? Where's Duke? Come here. He wants to go play. That's why I want to stay 10 minutes and we can go play. But I'll have to make my dinner. I have my dinner by 2 p.m. We're probably going to have some lamb. You want some lamb, Duke? Say hi to Ziggy. Hey. Say hey, what's going on? There's Duke under the table. Hey. What? Any other supplements to take with methylfolate? Yeah, you can take your methylcobalamin. You can take your vitamin B6 and TMG if you're looking for a methylation issue. How's the Doogie donation for him going? It's going good, not bad. I send a big thank you to Sandra, to Ziggy, to Pete. They've been helping quite a bit with Duke's diet, and he's happy. And now since we got chicken, we get like 6 eggs a day, starting as of today. First day today, we got 6 eggs. Usually we get like 2 eggs or 3 eggs or 4 eggs. Finally today, we actually had 6. And since we haven't been here for a week, we got a full 24 eggs right now. we got 2 dozen of eggs. Let me show you guys this. Actually, it's pretty neat. Actually, it's they're nice in different coloration. Check it out. So we got 24 eggs. So yeah, this is what I'm gonna have for my. I ate my last meal at 2 p.m. So we're gonna have some. We should have some beef liver today, right, Luke? So we'll have some. We're gonna have some lamb. So this is the lamb that I cut up yesterday. There's all the fat. I'll only use the fat to cook the lamb, but it's quite fatty, which is nice. But keep in mind, this is a lot of monounsaturated fat. It's actually really, really good. I'll cook that up. And what else we're gonna have? And we're gonna have some eggs. We'll have some eggs as well too. Best time to have MCT oil between your meals, never before. Well, because before it does actually break your fast, right? So if you're fasting, for fasting purposes, don't have MCT before your meal. If you don't really care about fasting, go for it. But anybody with ApoB issue, it will actually target your ApoB before your first meal. Do you follow Brian Johnson at all? He also does the 2 p.m. meal and shows some good result health-wise. Love his work. Yeah, but Brian Johnson, he does really good. He does actually have that. Now, the only reason I did my meal at 2 p.m., last meal at 2 p.m., because I have an issue with what is called LDL clearance. So if I have my meal in the evening, see, your LDL clearance is most effective between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. If you go beyond 2 p.m., you tend to increase your ApoB numbers. See, my ApoB number was quite high, and now I was able to control it just by kind of keeping my window shorter, either a 4-hour or 6-hour, but eating my fattiest meals at the time where your body clears the most LDL, and which is between 10 and 2 p.m. So that's what we need to do, and that's why I have to do it, and that's how I can control my ApoB, because I have the FH and the ApoE4 gene. If I eat it late, then it's gonna circulate, and when it circulates, it can take a couple days to clear. Hi there, I'm on a carnivore diet for about 3 years and a half. I feel much better for my joints, but all other problems. I don't know what kind of mistakes I'm making. I got bloating, hair loss, skin. That's your usual. That's your usual. Especially if you're eating one meal a day, you're gonna have hair loss. You're probably deficient in iodine. You're getting bloated because you're not taking enough magnesium in your diet. I would highly recommend you booking a time with me, and I can help you with all that stuff. I've been doing carnivore for coming up to 11 years now. As of March, it'll be 11 years. And I can guide you through the whole thing. I went through everything. I've done a lot of videos on some of that information. But yeah, hair loss is a common thing, especially if you're doing like OMAD. If you're doing an OMAD, yeah, that's going to actually happen dramatically to certain individuals. And I think the only reason you're having hair loss as well too is because your body clears LDL at a very slow rate. So you could be the same situation as me, where your LDL clears are quite slow. Good natural sources of magnesium or supplements. It has to be supplements. You can never get much from natural sources, because back in the day we used to get magnesium from our water, drinking water. But unfortunately, because our water has been redirected and it does not hit certain rock formations, so we don't get enough magnesium as we used to. So that's why you have to actually supplement. And if anybody tells you, well, hey, if you eat dark chocolate, or if you eat this or you eat that, you get enough magnesium, it's all bullshit. You don't get any at all, because due to the bioavailability and the way your body absorbs things. So the only way you can get it from is by taking a supplementation. Type of magnesium, it's not one kind of magnesium. You have to take about a few kinds of magnesium. So you'll have to take magnesium malate during the daytime, magnesium glycinate before you sleep, magnesium chloride, and magnesium sulfate in your water. So we do need a constant supply of magnesium, because our body utilizes magnesium quite fast. And the problem is it has a very short half-life. So you have to consume every 4 hours to maintain adequate amounts. Gotta go. So nice to see you. God bless. Cheers, Ziggy. Good to see you on here. Definitely touch base. Let me know how things are going, and we'll touch base. In the meantime, happy Sunday. Guys, we've got 2 more minutes and I'm gonna go. If you have any more questions, please leave any comments on the video when you guys watch it. And I'll be more than happy to respond. I know I'm behind. I have about 600 comments from previous videos. I haven't had time to actually respond to everybody because I was away. But I'll definitely do my best to respond with everyone. In the meantime, you guys take care of yourself. And I'm gonna put the website right now. So if you guys wanna book a time and stuff, you can go onto my website and book a time for next week. Will be great. And we'll dig a lot more deeper, especially on a personal level with each one of you. I know sometimes I give you like a fast answer here, but every answer is always customized per person. Thank you very much for your help, Info Maurice. Thanks so much for the comments, and I appreciate it. Preacher Man, Steven, you guys take care. In the meantime, you guys have a happy Sunday, and we'll touch base. Cheers.